Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at AGL Kale and how she does at 55% in the hidden potential system. So this is the resilient power of emotions, Kale, and she is a Universe 6 or transformation boost category lead of 170% across the board with key +3. She's an additional 30% lead for the Universe Survival Saga or full power categories. She greatly raises attack for one turn on her attack or her super attack, and she has attack and defense of 160%, plus an additional attack and defense of 60% and a high chance of launching an additional super when performing a super attack. She reduces damage received by 20% up to 60% from the same turn for each super attack performed, and has an additional attack and defense of 160% with a great chance of launching an additional super attack when there's another Universe 6 category ally on the same turn. She has a transformation skill which can be activated starting from the 4th turn if there's a Caulifla on the team or if she has performed 6 or more super attacks. Saiyan Lineage, Berserker, Battlefield Diva, Prepared for Battle, Warriors of the Universe 6, Tournament of Power and Fierce Battle are her link sets, and she's on Pepe Gal's USS, Pure Sands, Full Power, T-Boost, Universe 6, Super Saiyan 2, Exploding Rage, Rapid Growth, Miraculous Awakening, Bond of Friendship, and Power Beyond Super Saiyan. When she transforms, she will lose the Berserker link set to gain Super Saiyan, and when she is transformed, she will now raise attack and defense for one turn with a medium chance of critting on her super attack effect, and she has defense of 100% for 6 turns from start turn, attack and defense of 200%, an additional attack of 120%, and launches 2 additional attacks, each of which has a medium chance of becoming a super attack when performing a super attack. She has a high chance of guarding all attacks and has an additional attack and defense of 60% for 3 turns after receiving an attack. She has an additional defense of 160% and guards all attacks when there's another Universe 6 category ally attacking in the turn. So obviously if there's a Universe 6 category ally attacking in the turn, she's pretty broken. I think the cool thing about Kale is in her basic form she does high damage whilst being very tanky after super. In her transform state, she is a first slot tank that's very powerful and incredibly, well designed with a little bit of everything: guard, crit, additional attacks, etc. In terms of build, you're going to want to build her into critical. She can already fire off 3 super attacks in both of her forms, so a little bit of additional goes a long way, but her critical will be more important. Medium chance to crit is good, but you need to have a very high crit rate to do big damage. Overall, she's a pretty good unit that does quite a lot, and something that's really cool about her is she can actually link up with herself. So if you bring her as a friend lead, she can actually link up with herself as well. And this is pretty, I don't want to say fundamental, but it's a pretty cool aspect of her character's design. So her Berserk form can link up pretty much perfectly with her Super Saiyan 2 form. They obviously complement each other, so that's pretty cool. The only thing is you won't meet the transformation requirements to transform from turn 4 unless you've done 3 super attacks, but doing 6 super attacks with the base form Kale is not distinctly hard. Now obviously we're going to see some pretty good numbers out of her in her base Kale form. We're seeing some pretty nice chunky attack stats that grow with each and every single attack. Starting at around the 4 millions is pretty decent. Her defense is also relatively solid, sitting at like the 177k mark. Remember, it shoots up a lot when she fires a super, and she's getting that damage reduction as well. So pretty good stuff. Overall, her transformation, the actual transformation itself, is a really good transformation animation. I actually really enjoy it, and I think overall it's probably the best animated part of the card. It's also pretty well voice acted, so I find that to be pretty entertaining as well. In terms of the team, obviously I'm using her on a Universe 6 team, but Transformation Boost gives her pretty good coverage. If you have Kale, you can run her and herself, and you can run a pretty beefy Transformation Boost team without actually needing to have any other Universe 6 category allies, because she'll count for herself as the friend and you're basically sorted then. It's only really if you want to transform her early, which realistically just isn't necessary. And a all Kale rotation is a pretty powerful rotation. Having her in the first slot guarding all attacks, being really solid defensively, and then having her in the second slot being incredibly powerful defensively and also putting out good offensive numbers is pretty impressive. and if you build crit on her, then you'll be able to crit in both slots, which is pretty nuts. So Kale is really cool in that regard. You can see her here having 7 million attack stats. She can also quite frequently, after being hit, have around 300k defense before firing her super, which is pretty good. Remember, she does gain super after, or does gain defense on her super, so she can very easily get to around over the 400k mark after firing off 1 or 2 supers, which at the end of the day is pretty good. You can see her attack stats do fluctuate, and that is because she does gain attack on super, and this is pretty important because basically this augments support units quite a bit, and that's why you see such a large fluctuation in her attack stats. So she goes from having good attack stats to having great attack stats depending on how many supports are in the rotation and how many units are actually giving her very hard level support. Outside of that, Kale's pretty good. Honestly, there's no real issues I have directly with Kale or her design. I think she's an incredibly well done unit. I think her link set is pretty solid as well. If you look at her link set, she obviously has Saiyan Lineage, Super Saiyan, Battlefield Diva, Prepared for Battle, Warriors of Universe 6, Tournament of Power, and Fierce Battle. Prepared for Battle, Saiyan Lineage, Fierce Battle, and Super Saiyan give her pretty much enough to link with almost any other unit anyway. And then Battlefield Diva, Warriors of Universe 6, and Tournament of Power, although obviously far more specific in terms of what units they go to, honestly don't have, that big, it's not a big issue, is what I'm saying, because she's got such good other links. So overall it's pretty good stuff. Obviously, her links are decently spread out, so I think she has enough coverage to be pretty good. You do need to link her with Saiyan units at the very minimum, so you can't stick her on T-Boost and have her, only roll with a whole bunch of coolers. You're not going to get the best out of her, but worst case scenario in that case, you can just run her with herself. Transform one of the Kales, run them as a pairing, and just have no problems playing the game anyway. So Kale is really, really good from that perspective. And then taking a look at her link set, she's, still solid as well. As mentioned, she has quite a few key links, Saiyan Lineage giving 2 key and attack and defense of 5% at max rank, Battlefield Diva is a key link, Prepared for Battle is a key link, Warriors of Universe 6 is a key link, and Tournament of Power is a key link. So getting key is not an issue for her, and she provides a lot of key to LRs like Kale and Caulifla. She has Fierce Battle, of course, and Super Saiyan in her transform state, whilst having Berserker in her base state. In terms of a link leveling or link priority, you can prioritize any of the key links, being Saiyan Lineage, Prepared for Battle, Warriors of Universe 6 or Tournament of Power, or Battlefield Diva if you're running a Pepe Gals team. Either way, as long as you hit some of the key links, you should be fine. Outside of that, you can prioritize having as many links as possible, but there's no specific one you definitely have to have. Her best links are Tournament of Power and Warriors of Universe 6, which both give her 6% attack and defense and 7% attack and defense respectively. In terms of link leveling, you don't gain a lot, but you do gain, I would say, probably a decent chunk. If you link level every single link, you gain, I believe it is 23% attack and defense from her main key links, along with 5% dodge, another 5% attack from Super Saiyan, and 5% from Fierce Battle. So around 33% attack, 23% defense, and you also gain a couple bits of key with 5% dodge. So there you go, you don't need to put 5 dodge on her, she gets it from her passive. It's pretty cool. Outside of that, she's basically really good to go. I don't think there's any major issues with her, and I think she's an exceptional unit. Overall, she's a great unit that's just unfortunately coming out at the wrong time. It's always difficult to fill up the slot just before the worldwide celebration, and Kale suffers from that as well. But in time, people will see that she's a very, very good unit, and if you are watching this video in that time, I'm very glad that you are enjoying Kale, because she is a very good unit, and the team she leads is pretty good, and she herself is just a great unit that does everything she needs to do and more. Overall, link-wise, you don't have major problems, so don't panic too much. There will be continual easy A's to units like Kale and Caulifla, to Caulifla cards, to Kale cards, and this will keep her relevant for a while, so she should be fine. Outside of that, she has good mechanics, the guard capabilities keep her relevant for a long period of time, and so she'll be a stalwart of Universe 6, Tournament of Power, and USS going forward. That's it from me. Bye.